Hollywood Live. Today, Amazon blows up Echo on Tech Day. Giants pull together to fight net neutrality, and Toyota rolls out their autonomous plan. Let's go.
You are tuned in to Black Hollywood Live's Geek Nerd Tech.
Welcome to Geek Nerd Tech, the show we break down tech news and nerd culture from a black and brown geek perspective. I'm Joe Braswell. I'm joined as always by Mr. Achilles Shine, the creamy spy.
Yes, sir.
What's happening?
Chilling, man. In the spot to be. How's everything going with you?
Everything's going fine.
Good, man.
Fine. Could be better. A lot better, but it could be a lot worse.
Oh, yeah. You got to count your blessings.
The blessings are being counted as we speak.
Yeah, man.
One of them is that I am drawing a breath right now.
Oh, no.
Which is good.
Oh, no.
I mean, I could be not drawing a breath. I
Hey.
could be like you know, like my man R.I.P. from True Blood. So, you know,
Hey, man.
things could be worse out there.
That's right, man.
But yeah, like lots to talk about. We got some pop cultures coming. Comic-Con's on the horizon. You know, Black Panther made the cover of Entertainment Weekly.
Let's go, baby.
And you know, Kevin Hart's got a new streaming service he's launching.
Yeah.
What's your predictions on how that will do? What you think about that, and much more. But first, just really quickly, I'd like to check in on current events because there's always something happening. Your boy Donald Trump Jr. These emails you get, you know, like, I mean, do you think that this is the beginning of the end, or do you think that you know that they're going to just keep brushing this away, batting this off?
Of course I'm going to bat it off. I mean, I feel like...
You don't think there's a tipping point for the right to say, you know what, this shit's getting kind of crazy? I mean, Joe Scarborough went on.
Yeah, he said, I'm out
Yeah.
the Republican Party. I mean, there's been dozens of tipping points, man. Like, I feel like it's the dance, you know? Like, there'll be the music and then there'll be the dance. So it's like you respond, you react to what's in front of you, the cards that are in front of you. So I feel like there's going to be some jousting, and we'll see what happens. But I don't think it's the tipping point. You do?
Right. This is pretty damning. It just gets harder. Watching Sean Hannity last night twist himself in a pretzel to like defend Trump and say collusion's a made up term by the media and this is ridiculous and the stupid. I mean, like he's sounding more and more hysterically ridiculous, and I mean even to like his followers. So him, Rush Limbaugh, you know, Alex Jones, Breitbart, all that sort of like, you know, this basically state-funded media propaganda machine. You know, they're becoming less and less reasonable. Not that they were reasonable before, but it's like it's harder and harder to explain stuff away. It's like when you look at something in your face, like, you didn't see that, you know?
Hey, man, I feel like because of where we are and how we consume media, like everyone has like long-term memory issues. Like people aren't going to remember. It's going to be skipped, you know, put on the rug.
Yeah.
Brushed under the rug. So I feel like all the apologists and all the people that rationalize, you know, what's happening politically, like the next story is going to, you know, masquerade that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I mean, I would say that that's not true but that's exactly what's happened
For what, almost 8 months now?
I mean, nonstop.
Right.
I mean,
Well, since
pre-presidency.
exactly.
We're talking about
Right.
since
the campaign.
Candidate Trump did some
Right.
crazy stuff, and that
Right.
was like, and he got elected.
Exactly.
So then President Trump's involved in some crazy stuff, and people are like, nothing to see here.
Right.
We're just trying to shove this healthcare bill through and get these tax cuts, get them out
Right.
of here. Anyway, it's shameful.
It is shameful. It's inexcusable.
Yeah. But anyway, I am optimistic that maybe we can make some headway in 2018, assuming our elections aren't tampered with and hacked, which they will be. Hopefully we can withstand that and make some changes the old-fashioned way before we have to take to the streets.
Right.
You know, that's really the old-fashioned way. But we'll see what happens. Anyway, today, or coming up very soon, I mean, speaking of Trump and his folks, the whole idea.
His folks.
Well, it's just I'm talking about net neutrality, and his FCC are back in the very pro corporate stance of, sort of saying that, hey man, like corporations are allowed to do whatever they want when they're involved in the internet, because he's very pro corporation and anti regulation.
Right.
So if it's a regulation, get rid of it. If it's corporation for a corporation, let's do that shit. And that includes the free internet for all of us, and tech giants, Amazon, Reddit, Facebook, Twitter, Google, everybody is like, nah,
buddy,
we don't want that to happen at all. So they are rallying together to do a day of action.
Yeah, man.
I think they're all going to do some like different messagings or different service things when you try to log into your service. They'll be like, don't let this shit happen, because this was going to be like.
This is great.
It's fantastic, right?
It's phenomenal. The fact that they're going in as a crew, as a collective unit, I think is great. Because at the end of the day, like, our dependency on the internet is almost like water. It's like air. Like, we need information to live sustainable lives, to live vibrant lives. And so, yeah, having a company be able to turn off our access to that is an incredible danger. And so I think that the fact that a lot of these internet platforms that we all love and appreciate and use are rallying together to create some positive messaging, I think that is phenomenal. It's a phenomenal thing. I think Vimeo's a part of that crew.
Yeah.
It's like at least 20 of them that are banding together, and so I think it's good.
Do you think this will be effective? Because what this administration has shown time and time again is they don't give a shit about what the public is doing or thinking, or what the people can take to the streets, march, whatever. They're like, yeah, that's cool. We're going to do it anyway. Do you think this will be effective?
I think raising awareness is always an effective strategy. Like, the more you know, the more you are equipped to be actionable with that knowledge. And so I think that not being vocal, not, communicating and being instructive with the information that you have and trying to meet someone that doesn't have the information, I think like that's worse. So the fact that, hey, it's on my radar, and and I think a lot of people are apathetic. They're not going to actually move until it affects them directly. But the fact that seed is planted, I think, is a great thing.
I agree wholeheartedly. I think it's an amazing, sort of unprecedented thing that you have these titans of industry. It'd be like back in the day. It'd be like if U.S. Steel and General Electric and all these people banded together to do something, and then you wouldn't see that. So I think these tech industry giants are the titans of industry of today. So to see them all band together to go do something that is anti-government is either good or bad, because it sets a precedent. What happens when what the flip side of that? What if this were Obama trying to do something, and all of the Wall Street banks banded together to do something? Like, it's interesting.
Well, they did.
They did, yeah. But it's just interesting to see the power of what the power of these giant tech companies can do against
It's a battle between
laws.
Old money and new money, man. These new tech guys are the new guys that come to, hey, we're taking it. We're taking the banner from you old guys. And the old guys are like, no, we want to hold on to this old infrastructure, this old way of doing things. And so, who knows? The Facebooks and the YouTubes of the world might be the old guys one day, and we might be having a different conversation about what they're trying to do.
Well, that kind of brings us into the next story, because they're doing everything they can they're already kind of acting like the old guys.
Right.
Because this next story really talks about this interesting report that Vox has, very interesting sort of think piece, if you will, by Tim Lee and Vox, talking about the end of the internet startup, and the whole thesis of the speech is like there was a boom in these like technology startups, about 10 years ago, 12 years ago, 15
great
years
article,
ago.
by the way.
Yeah, I mean, Vox, by the way, if you guys aren't up on Vox is doing it at a high level, especially politics. Obviously, Ezra Klein's killing the game, Matthew Iglesias, all those guys, politics. But the podcasts are all great, but also tech, culture, like, it's a fantastic writing. And so if you don't know about Vox.com, check it out, and check out the podcast too. But the idea here is that you had all these crazy companies start. You had the Ubers and the Twitters and the Facebooks and even the Googles. I mean, these things aren't that old.
Google's is from the 90s.
Yeah.
But all the other ones you listed are from the 2000s.
Right. And so they're all coming up. They've changed, completely transformed our entire society. It's not even culture, society, global society.
Yeah.
And now that they are where they are, I mean, it's actually akin to the Industrial Revolution, if you really think about it. Mm-hmm. But now that we are where we are, like, there's no new startups popping up, and because the environment for those startups to exist are gobbled up by your boy, the Zuckster, and his gang. Like, yeah, I ain't gonna let that happen. Look at the smile.
Hey.
Zuck is not letting it happen.
You're not taking money out of my pocket,
if
player.
you pop up with something, what's that over there? I bought it. Like, he try to buy Snapchat, he'll just snap it up. And more quietly, in Zuckerberg's defense, more quietly, everybody's doing that shit too. Apple's doing that shit.
Yeah.
Amazon's doing it all day long. They're all doing it.
Yeah.
And they're all, and this is why these guys stay on top, because anything that looks like it's going to be a disruptor, they snatch it up.
Yeah.
Is this right? Is this fair? What do you think of this?
I mean, I think, like I said, I think this article is interesting in the context in which it's saying, like, from the start of the internet, when the internet was made public, to how the early internet providers started, and then you had the search engine era with the Googles and the Yahoos, and now you have the more social media platform era, and now you have the AI era, which we're in now. Like, we're stuck where we have more bot technology, and we have stuff that actually does the thinking for us. We don't have to plug in the information, we just speak to it, we interact with it. So I feel like all those transitions, I think, gave rise to these companies. And so the key difference is that we're in the age of analytics, where now these platforms are so information entrenched that they're able to forecast way better than their ancestors or the previous companies. And so because of that, they're able to be like, okay, well, we have risk in this area. Like you said, let's gobble and acquire up these companies so that we have at least some type of presence in this space. Maybe like the space is not as saturated in the marketplace now, but it might be 10 years from now. But let's plant a seed and grab this now. And I think that's the thing, that the key difference, that these companies have so much money that they can essentially play in a game of monopoly or risk. They're able to put their different pieces on the different parts of the map, versus other companies. They didn't necessarily do that.
Right.
They weren't as innovative in trying to keep up with the times or forecast what the times might be.
Right. I mean,
I don't know.
Yeah, no, that you're nailing on the head. But so it's interesting to see what does this set the tone for the next 50 to 100 years, like those guys did in the Industrial Revolution. Like what happened with all those giants, all the Rockefellers and the Carnegies and all those folks in the turn of the century, with the railroads and the steel and the and all the
crazy. History repeats itself.
Yeah, I mean the only thing they're missing is building a lot of that on the backs of slaves and black folks.
Thank you.
but I mean, maybe Indian programmers and Chinese programmers, maybe they're taking the place of that.
Man.
But still, like, what does this mean? Like, does this mean that they're just going to be holding it down for the next 100?
Man, I mean, I think that because how things are so accelerated now, there's going to be some innovative, something we can't even conceptualize.
Yeah.
Like, that's going to come up that's going to like really shift the culture, and the Facebooks, the Amazons, and the Googles of the world might be toppled because of that.
Absolutely, yeah.
Exactly.
That's like it's kind of like Friendster
Right.
or whatever. They'll go the way of literally. I mean, it'll make something that was so disruptive and game changing.
Right.
Like you're laughing at me. Like you think about Yahoo and
Right.
and how I'm thinking of just certain disruptive things.
Yeah.
Prodigy.
Yeah.
Prodigy was like, poised to be. Why isn't Prodigy like where Google is?
Exactly.
They can do it.
Exactly.
Like as big as $16 billion, as big as Yahoo was at one
Right.
time. Like they couldn't do it. So yeah,
I mean, once someone invents the next medium of communication aside from the phone, beyond the phone, I like to see what Facebook and Google does, because most of the revenue comes from the phone. Ad revenue from the phone, search, and so. Like, if we don't need to use phones anymore, then what happens?
Yeah, I think. Who knows? We might be. I think the next wave, and this will probably come out of China or somewhere like or South Korea. The next wave is the Black Mirror style implants,
Right.
And weird things, and the cognitive things,
The
and
biological technologies.
Yeah, exactly. Like contact lenses that with the AR display and like weird things, and I don't know, man. It'll be interesting to see how soon that technology comes up, and but they're never implanting anything inside me though. That's for goddamn sure.
No, but my last question, we can move on. But I think you asked it, but I want you to answer it. So if you don't have the war chest of revenue, of money, like the Apples and the Facebooks and Amazons and Googles of the world, how do you compete? If I'm the college kid, if I'm Mark Zuckerberg in 2017 at Harvard, how do I compete?
Yeah, you don't. I mean, I think that your goal is to really. It's almost like your goal at a certain point is to contribute to the. It's like it's happened after the Industrial Revolution, in my opinion. At a certain point, your goal is to contribute to the industries already established. In other words, if we're sitting in a garage right now thinking about the next mode of transportation, we're not necessarily thinking we're going to start a car company. We're thinking we're going to, like, how can we get this to Ford, or how can we get this to Elon Musk at this, at this rate? If we're sitting and thinking about the next TV show or movie, we're not necessarily thinking how we're going to open our own studio, maybe,
or create our own Netflix,
or create our own Netflix, or create our own network. How how to create our own ABC. Like, we're like, how do we get this to ABC? So I think that, like, at a certain point, once these institutions are created, you become, a
servant to them.
Well, I mean, you can look at all the entertainment, music industry, television industry. Like, you create your art, you create your products to exist within the system. It's a rare person that says,
thinks
I'm
outside
gonna,
the box.
Yeah, the network television. I'm going to create my own network. And people are doing that, as you see, because the internet allows them to do that. But they're also doing that through Googles and Facebooks and all these, and Amazons and all these other tools. So I don't know, man. So the answer to that question is, like you said, I think whatever that next wave is, it has to be so disruptive that it's able to jump outside the bounds of what are already like our norms. And I don't know what that is, because that's what those guys did.
Exactly.
Those guys are like telephones.
Right.
Like, we're doing something else.
Right.
Like, you watching stuff on the TV?
Right.
Nah, on a newspaper?
Right.
Nah, we doing something else. And what's beyond that? Like, that's, there are trains. You take a train everywhere?
Exactly.
Like, no.
You wake up and eat breakfast?
Yeah. I'm taking a pill. So I don't know. We'll see. I can't even conceive in my brain outside of like crazy, Philip K. Dick science fiction, like what the next like thing would be outside of where we are right now. Because all the stuff that's happening right now, for me, 30 years ago, was like stuff I was reading about in science fiction.
Imagination.
Yeah, like, one day we'll be able to do X, Y, Z, I mean, autonomous cars, like that's insane. So I don't know. Look, we'll soon find out.
Man. Yes, sir.
I think the next, but I will say this, I think the next wave, unfortunately, the next wave in disruptive any and everything will come in biotechnology. It'll come in like 3D printing hearts and 3D printing organs. It'll come in, life extension.
The internet will be in your body.
Yes, or not only that, but it'll also be in the stem cell research and cloning and all this weird stuff that's happening now. The ability to make the hamburger in a petri dish, create food,
create weather,
geostorm. Have you seen that? By the way, most side note. Whatever's happening in that movie Geostorm looks like the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
It's pretty bad.
But it might be hit. People love those disaster movies. Love this is a big budget disaster movie.
Of course.
About a weather satellite that can create weather that someone hacks into that causes geostorms. And my man Gerard Butler has got to launch into space to hack the satellite to save us from the geostorm.
I can't.
That sounds
like
I don't understand.
It's bad.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. That's the plot of the movie, and I know people signed up to that, but I'm out. Anyway, so we'll see. That's a lot. Prime Day was what's happening. Prime Day. What's it called?
Yeah, Prime Day.
Prime Day, man.
Amazon Prime Day, baby.
My friends were making jokes online, about Prime Day is not what it used to be. It's so commercialized, and Prime Day used to be about celebrating Bezos. Now it's about people all that stuff. But
yeah, baby.
But look, Prime Day, whatever. Say what you want about Prime Day, but what dominated Prime Day is something you already own, brother. Is the Echo.
I don't own the Echo.
What do you have?
I own the Dot.
Oh,
yeah, I own the baby brother.
Okay,
so
cool.
The Echo is a little larger.
The
only difference is it's just a bigger speaker.
Right. The Echo is. I think my friend Eric has the Echo.
Right.
Wait. Is that which one is Alexa? They're both Alexa. Yeah. Okay, but one's the Dot, one's the Echo. Got it.
But the only difference is that one's a bigger speaker.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
But it's dominating. They cut the prices. Like, they made it extremely affordable, and people are going ham and buying them.
Yeah. Are you? You still all in on the Dot?
I mean, I think
Are you still like, Alexa?
hey, when people come over, they enjoy interacting with Alexa.
Right.
Like I use it to turn off the lights. I use it to play music.
Right.
I hardly ever ask like those questions. Hey, what's traffic like?
Right.
Or what's the weather like? Like, okay.
Yeah.
But like in terms of maybe like some factoid information, something factual I want to get. Like if I'm having a banter with you and we're disagreeing about what Ken Griffey Jr. did in whatever year, you can ask Alexa and she'll set you straight or whatever. So I think it's useful for that. But I mean, it's just interesting like, that
Achilles right as always. As always.
I just love the fact that you can add on the different like home accessories, like
the Nest and all that stuff.
Yeah, all that stuff is fresh.
Yeah, that's fresh. So, and as those things become more like proficient and more prolific,
and costs
are going down.
Exactly.
All this stuff, and the Internet of Things is with your refrigerator, all that stuff hooked up to it, and defrosting stuff, preheating the oven, while all that stuff it's coming.
Yeah, if you got a new crib, you can have everything situated. Right. Your air conditioning, heater, like you said, all your kitchen appliances, like your lights, and you ain't got to touch nothing. You sit back, hey, turn on the TV, boom, dim the light, bam, turn on the water sprinklers outside, boom, open the garage, like you ain't got to get up.
Feed me a pizza. There's things I won't say, but
last note though, I will say Alexa be talking, and I don't be asking her nothing. The feds, bro.
No.
The feds, bro.
You're like minding your business. Like, what did you say? I didn't say that. I wasn't talking to you. First of all, second of all, I didn't say nothing. Yeah, that's scary. Or like you said, like you look up and the listening.
Right.
Yeah, like, what's she listening
it's silent.
For? Yeah. Well, I didn't ask you that. Why are you listening? Yeah, I don't know. That's where it does get to be weird, because when you have something that's connected, it's a two-way street. So the idea of people hacking in, and activating your Alexa, and surveillance. That's
seriously.
That's
oh my
real.
goodness.
Well, again, we're digressing again, but like, what any hacker, the first thing all the cyber experts will say is none of those guys have satellite radio in their car. They're like, no, satellite radio? That's
the entry point.
Like that's the easiest entry point to get all in your shit, to do whatever we want to do.
I have a tape deck.
Yeah, I have an 8-track. But like, yeah, that's on all these reports, the first thing they'll say is like satellite radio, no.
Man,
which is interesting.
And the thing about the Alexa is that whatever you speak into it like on the app, you could look at the log of things that you've spoken to it. So if it is listening and you're not directly speaking to it, it's recording that shit.
Right.
Where's that shit going?
Yeah, exactly.
What server is that on? You know what I'm saying?
That's a great point. Or who can be like, I'm coming in. Access the last 3 months of what Achilles talking about.
Right.
Up right there.
Exactly.
He said it. Taking that shit to court.
Man.
Is it admissible?
Man,
I don't know.
It's all bad. It's bad news, baby.
Or let's say you committed a crime in your house, and I'm an attorney. Like, subpoena all the echo. I need to subpoena all the echo transcripts.
Hide the echo.
Yeah, but is that possible? Can they go to Amazon and subpoena all the? I mean, this is the world we live in.
I mean, I would assume that it's protected just like our phones are protected.
Yeah, this is where the area where the technology curve is far ahead of the legal curve, and we can't write the laws to protect us fast enough from our own technology. So again, we'll see how it plays out. They already got your fingerprint, and now they got you.
Seriously.
Pretty soon they got your retinal scan, facial recognition, your voice. Pretty soon walk around and be another Achilles walking down the street. You're like, hey. Like, what? Yeah. All right. That's definitely a science fiction plot. Anyway, something a little more not so dystopian. Microsoft is launching an AI for Earth. They're giving $2 million to sort of help with environmental projects. This is new artificial intelligence that'll help with crops and growth and try to figure out the best ways and most efficient ways for farmers and others to grow their crops. And I think it's all fantastic, except for the price tag. Seems like a drop in the bucket, but it's better than nothing. $2 million.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was pretty low too. But I love the concept. I love the idea. And I mean, hey, good news from Microsoft. We don't really talk about Microsoft that often. So I mean, it's awesome that they're doing something that's going to help us environmentally. And I know that No, I'm drawing a blank. Bill Gates is such a huge philanthropist and fighting causes of the environment and the ecological causes. Like I think, like it just makes sense for them to be in this space. So
right, makes sense. Speaking of which, Toyota. Let me see if people get in space. Toyota is now trying to. They're dropping not $2 million, but $100 million into a new AR venture fund, and people are saying it's to catch up with Tesla, Ford, and Google to get their own autonomous AI stuff going, which, late to the party. This is not really, doesn't seem like it's super breaking news to me because eventually they're all going to have to get there.
Yeah.
So, that's fine. But, is this really news or is this just whatever?
I mean, I might be mistaken about this, but isn't, at least in the States, Toyota the most drive the car brand?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So, I mean, that's why.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be huge.
But they're going into AI, robotics, autonomous mobility, and data and cloud technology. So they're going for the royal flush.
Right. Hey,
everything. They're trying to get into everything. So they're like, autonomous cars, but we also want robotics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I don't know if that means just plant building efficiency, or if that means something for your car. Like you drive and the arm comes out. Like, who knows? I don't know.
This guy.
It's crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Like robotics. Like, you already got robotics. You already got robotics unlocked.
Yeah, pretty much.
So I don't know. But I want to talk about our folks over at Dice. Dice is the leading career technology hub. It's a place that champions the professional, as a professional tech community, has 700,000 tech jobs, and Dice is the best place to get them seen. So what they do, it's an interesting thing. They've been around for about 20 years. They're full-blown career hub, delivering tools and resources to help you manage your career. They have over 70,000 tech jobs ranging from software development, UX, project management, and more. They have tremendous amounts of insight around the job market and skills, which are hot, which ones are cooling off, solid reports and tools to make you understand how you stack up. Dice is your advocate for navigating your career. That means finding your next job in an effective way to get a pay raise and informing your next career move. It's a great thing. It's an app. It lets you basically see what's going on, what's trending. Lets you match your existing skills to jobs that are already out there.
Right.
And things that are in the body. Sometimes the things are in the body of your CV or resume. Taking those skill sets and applying to jobs that you may not think that you're either qualified for or even going out for. So that's
fantastic.
Very good. Helps you using technology to help find jobs. These aren't just tech jobs; these are probably all jobs. So,
right.
But tech jobs, 70,000 tech jobs. It's the best place on earth. You can check it out. Go to dice.com. Dice.com/can-you-hack-it. That's dice.com/can-you-hack-it, and hack your career with Dice.
Let's get it, baby.
Cool. So, speaking of hacking, and I mean this in an intrusive way, Facebook Messenger. I'm always trying to hate on Facebook. Facebook Messenger has added ads to their home screens. Big shock. Rolling out worldwide. I mean, if there's a way to deliver an ad to your eyeballs,
right,
Facebook's gonna figure it out.
Hey,
Facebook's gonna figure if you're interfacing with Facebook in any meaningful way, an ad's gonna pop up. They're gonna sell you some shit.
That's right.
And they're gonna make money off of it, and you're not. So eat that.
Hey, but you get to message your family.
Thank you. Thank you, Zuckerberg.
Exactly.
Thank you for allowing me to do that while you make money, make billions off of me. That's fine. Anyway, I got nothing. I mean,
he's not making billions off of you. He's making billions off these companies.
That's true.
That sometimes dumb enough to put up the ad.
that want to find me. That's right. Just fine. I mean, that's what this is all about. I mean, look, I really shouldn't be so cynical about it. This is what this stuff is about. I mean, TV.
we might have a show on Facebook. You better stop. He might. Let me research this Joe Braswell guy.
All he says
you hate motherfucker.
Well, the checks are interesting. No, but I think that. Yeah, I mean, this is what magazines, radio, television, all delivery service for ads. Facebook shouldn't be any different. I mean,
not at all.
That's fine. The user base is growing and growing and growing in the billions. I mean, we talked about this before, he's only got a few B left to have the entire world connected. I mean, he's almost got the world's population as a user base.
Yeah, minus China, pretty much.
Yeah, so I mean, that's really, really insane. So, yeah, good for you, man.
Speaking of Facebook and television, man, did you catch the story? Lonzo Ball and I mean his whole brand now doing a TV show on Facebook.
Yeah, ironically, I have some inside. I was going to say something that I realized it's inside information, so I can't say it. But yes, I do. I do. I do know that some other folks had it and lost it, and were frustrated that they lost it, but due to some stuff they couldn't get together, and then
Facebook
lo and behold, snapped up on Facebook.
Hey, I think that's an incredible move.
That's an incredible move across the board because Lonzo's dad is nuts. That family is going to be definitely going to be a legacy family.
100%.
The dad is crazy, so that's good TV. And Lonzo's going to,
you better put up the numbers.
He's going to. Well, it's a lot of pressure, but I think he'll deliver. I mean,
summer league. He the first game he was terrible.
2
he was like
points.
two for like 19 or something.
He's his first summer game. Give the man a break.
Okay.
Summer league. Okay. And I'm really riding hard for Lonzo Ball. I'm like, he was tired. Right. Leave him alone.
Okay.
No, I don't know. Yeah, but he came back second game with
triple
double. So,
yep, sure did.
I'm not worried.
11, 12 or something.
I'm not worried.
Yeah.
We'll see. So the iPhone 8 is coming, and they have this crazy 3D face detection situation going. They have wireless charging going. They have like this all these different things that they're rolling out, and apparently they're having trouble with it. It's delayed. It's like it's almost like you put it on the board like the next one has to have charging. It's got to have the face. This technology already is out there. Samsung's got it. We can't steal it like we do everything else.
Wow.
No, shots fired at my beloved Apple, but like. I mean, like they do steal a lot of shit, and they aren't late on everything, so that's kind of weird. Anyway, but they put that stuff on the board, like our phone has to have these things. And they put it out there. The release date's coming. People got their tickets for the keynote.
Yeah,
and the shit's not ready.
Yeah, I mean, hardware wise, I think it's solid, but they're having a software issue with iOS, and so that is very surprising. That you would already put a goal line out and market that, and now you're having issues. That's a bad sign.
Yeah,
and the fact that you're gonna have to go back on your word, or you might have to launch it and not have all the functionality already delivered, like that's. Apple, man. Apple's diminishing, bro. This would never happen before.
Look,
Steve Jobs would never let this happen.
I don't know. Maybe.
No. When did it happen?
It actually happened a lot. People don't forget when Steve Jobs would roll shit out, and they would come out, and the shit would come out, and there'd be like bugs, so many bugs.
Every product has bugs. That's
Exactly.
different. This is not a bug.
And then he'd roll out some fixes. Oh, here's the OS 3 2.572.
Every product has that.
Download that shit really quick. I give Apple a huge amount of credit. They roll it out and then come out with the bug fixes the next month.
This is different. It's not a bug fix. This shit ain't working, period.
I'm just saying, you roll it out, and then you just start releasing bug fixes.
Okay.
That's what I would do. Like, here's OS 11.
Roll it out. It doesn't work at all. Bug
OS
fix
11
comes with
1.2, 1.3, 1.4, or 1.5.
And those don't work.
Just keep rolling them out.
And
OS 11.35.
Stocks will start plummeting.
Yeah. It could be an issue. It's interesting because I was just listening to the Reid Hoffman podcast we're talking about, and he's talking to Zuckerberg himself, and Zuckerberg's mantra was move fast and break things. Like he's very his whole thing since he was a kid is all about just get it out there, get it out. I don't care if it works or not. Just get it out there.
Fix it later.
Yeah, watch how it fails, and then start fixing it on the fly. And then because what will kill you is sitting in a garage tinkering to get it just right and then releasing it. Yeah,
somebody's gonna pass you by.
Yeah, you can't do that.
You don't miss your moment.
You can't miss your moment. You gotta get it out there, and
that's great advice, though.
It's great advice across the board. I mean, even for us as we're developing stuff, sometimes we get caught in the thing
the
of
vortex. It has to be perfect.
We're not gonna give it to you. Then 2 weeks go by.
It's the artist's curse.
Anymore. Can't do that.
Yeah. The designer's curse, rather.
Yeah, the designer's curse. But anyway, so maybe Apple will follow that.
No, thank you.
What do you think about the idea? And this is something that feels like long overdue, but this is also weird. But Major League Baseball has been looking at this all the time, which is the autonomous revolution, like bots and others and cameras and sophisticated computers calling balls and strikes to make sure they get it right. This makes too much sense. But at the same time, baseball is about the umpires. It's part of this woven into the fabric of the game.
The social element of the sport, the human element.
Yeah.
You want to have that interaction. You want to be able to cuss out the umpire. You want to be able to have them throw you out the game. But hey, these computers have better analytics, not analytics. They have better way of processing what's happening. More exactitude. That's the word I was looking for. Like a human umpire may not be able to see have the precision that a computer will have. It's the same thing we talk about autonomous vehicles. Like a vehicle is able to stay on the road and stay at the right speed and be able to navigate through stuff way faster than a human can. Right. Way more precision. I believe that the same would be adopted to the sport of baseball, but strip away like I said, the social elements of it, I think you lose a lot of it. And they're also talking about changing some rules and making the pitchers have like a time clock. Yeah. Like I don't know about that. I mean, you're tarnishing a 100+ year tradition. You know what I'm saying?
I agree, but what I will say about this is baseball kind of needs it.
What?
No, I mean baseball kind of needs it because baseball is, first of all, these games are. I mean, this is not a new take, but like games are way too long these days. I mean, like they've got to. I mean, if you're gonna keep this attention span, baseball could repeatedly losing them. They've already lost black folks. They've already lost urban youth.
Well, as television viewers, you mean?
I'm talking about television viewers and participants.
Like I mean, in the sport?
In the sport. African Americans are replaced. When you see someone of color, they're more than likely Dominican or Cuban. Right. They are not, and there are very few African Americans left floating around.
That's true.
And if you look down in the minor league ranks and even in the college ranks, like you see very, very little African American. I mean, it's diminished greatly from where it used from the Jackie Robinson days.
No, forget that. From the Negro Leagues, brother.
From the Negro Leagues.
Thank
to
you.
like, I mean, I don't even know if there would be a Negro Leagues right now. I don't know if you can find enough brothers in one, to form our own league.
Right.
So, and that's just saying that baseball, I mean, obviously football and basketball and even to a certain degree soccer and suburbs have taken over. They've taken all the athletes. Yeah. And if you're an athlete, you're not really getting encouraged to play baseball.
Bring it in. So you're saying that having a shot clock essentially or a time clock will make me want to play baseball?
The long-winded point that I'm making is you're losing, not only using African Americans, but they're losing youth in general. Kids they don't care about baseball as much. They don't play baseball as much. Baseball is, as America's pastime, was something you pass down from generation to generation to generation. Mm-hmm. You're losing that, and one of the reasons is because when the television, the culture we consume baseball, you cannot. Although MLB has done a fantastic job with their digital world and digital platform, they are the most progressive of all of the leagues.
Whoa! No way!
Not over NBA.
No way!
Okay,
no way.
But I will say they were first. So maybe NBA surpassed them in what they do, but the MLB was early in technology and being able to show all the games, multiple cameras, multiple coverage, all digitally, all online. Now NBA is NFL's like not; they're way far away because they're too worried about their licensing and money. Yeah. Anyway, point is, shit's too long. Like 8-hour games, 6-hour games, like going to the attendance is down, going there in a hot summer, sitting there for like 6 hours. Like kids aren't doing that, watching the game on TV. All the television rights are going, or other place. We need, these games are too long. And we need to figure out ways to shorten the games.
You're saying the solution to this is shortening the games means that it'll be more saturation.
You have to figure out a way to shorten the game so that you can get it to a situation where the game is more digestible and watchable. Shortening the games maybe will attract people. They don't have to invest as much time into the game. Maybe they have interest in the game. The more interest in the game brings more kids and learning to the game.
There's nothing like playoff baseball. And you mean to tell me you're going to reduce the time during the playoffs?
Yes, because
no way.
Because
no way. You want those long games during the playoffs?
No, I'm not talking about making it 5 innings. You're talking
about like the suggestion,
like the suggestion, but even like between
it's
pitches.
Only 2 strikes now.
No, 2 strikes. But pitchers like going to the rosin bag, sitting around.
That's the culture.
Da, 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 da. My dude,
sizing up your opponent
in the batter's box. I got to adjust my gloves. I'm going back and forth. I'm tapping the thing. I'm looking in. I'm timeout.
Yeah.
Doing it again.
Yeah.
Looking ready. Timeout.
Yeah.
Like, come on, bro. Like that's all right.
So you're saying that's archaic and that needs to be changed.
Put a clock. You get in the box. You got X amount of time to throw a pitch and hit the pitch. Forget all that. Like undoing all the armor.
But see, I disagree.
Redoing it.
Just like if you add a computer or a computer technology to referee the games, to ump the games, you lose you lose that human element, and you lose the human element by stripping away all those things. So all that is posturing, all that is strategy, all that is sizing up your opponent, and like you take that away, like you take away a strong part of the character of the game, and I think that will diminish the quality of everything.
It would take Nomar Garcia Parra like 5 minutes just to swing one bat. By the time he adjusted everything and did everything and moved around, and I don't know. I hear you, but I feel like maybe this isn't it. I don't know, like taking away the umpires, and putting a robot back there and just having a thing with no umpires. I don't know if that's the move, but I feel like something has to be done. But we'll see.
I think that's the move for having more precise calls for sure.
Yeah, I mean the calls are. I mean, some of these calls are insane.
Yeah, and I mean also that might take away any corruptibility of the game. If there's an umpire that's getting paid some side money or whatever.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's like strike.
Right.
He's like exactly. I got you. No. A side note. There's this thing, man, that was out there about this crazy. Have you seen anything from these umpire schools or umpire camps? That's really, really interesting. Like they have these schools and camps, and they are like basically like schools, not really camps, but like where umpires train. It is hardcore. It's like the military in there. They have these guys all lined up, and some screaming at them like, "No, the strike! No, the ball! What was it? Like strike! Say it again! Strike!" It's like so crazy, and they're like looking and like calling stuff, and like the discipline that these guys have, the rigorous training they put them through. I mean, it feels like a lot of it's for show.
You gotta be ice cold, baby. You got to be ice
cold.
cold.
It's for show, but man, these guys, it's definitely the umpire culture. It's definitely like a culture of dude that comes out of that.
It is
a certain type of person.
Like, yeah, what is that person? I want to be an umpire.
Yeah, but you kind of know when you see them walking around life. I mean, black, white, whoever. They kind of walk around with a little swag.
They definitely have a swag. Like, I'm the motherfucking umpire.
Exactly. Looking at you like anyway.
And why they always like this big puffed shoulder?
Up.
Like,
yeah, it's puffed up. Anyway, I don't know. All right, digressing further.
Right.
Moving on. Your boy Wiz Khalifa has the most watched YouTube video ever.
Go figure, man.
Surpassing your other boy.
That's not my boy.
Psy with Gangnam Style.
Hey.
I forgot how the song even goes. Gangnam Style. I forgot how it goes. I forgot. Anyway, 3 billion views.
Man, that's incredible.
For that terrible song.
Take that, Mark Zuckerberg.
First of all, I think sorry, 3 billion views and billions of people. I think the song's terrible.
I don't think it's terrible. I won't go that far.
I don't think it did. I'm exaggerating, but I don't like the song.
I mean, it's a little cheesy, yeah, without question.
Yeah.
But hey, I can get it from from how I can see how people can adopt that song and like it. Yeah. I don't necessarily.
No, and I know it's connected to Paul Walker, and the franchise is huge.
That's right.
It's $1 billion franchise. Paul Walker and the connection. I get it.
It's an anthem. It's an anthem,
and it's also like, look, because you got like people graduate from high schools and colleges and any kind of like
any transition.
You're playing at funerals. You're playing that joint. So I get it. It's almost a perfectly engineered song for all of these emotional moments.
Life moments.
So I do get that. But the thing that is the most the most insane to me is how YouTubers only earn $1,000 per million views. So for 1 billion views, Wiz
$1 million
exactly. And for 3 billion, he's running 3 million.
Yeah.
So that is like 3 billion views. You feel like I won. Like here's your $3 million. Like that doesn't seem right.
For me to see $1,000 on YouTube, I have to get 1 million views.
Yep. That's how far away. So when you get them,
that's crazy.
When you get 50,000 views, or you get like 100,000 or 500,000, and you think you did something,
you ain't done nothing.
Nope. That's $500.
I mean, I still think that's phenomenal though, because it's not like you have to do any marketing for that, or you have to go on tour.
I could just organic. Put it up there. If people watch it, I got $1,000. Good.
I mean, and for that guy that actually has the viral video that puts up those type of numbers, like that is that's substantial. Like I filmed this on my iPhone, and it got 5 billion or whatever, 5 million views.
Yeah,
like
not only that,
$5,000.
If you're savvy enough to say, hey, Chrysler, I got 5 million views. Get your money from Chrysler.
Right.
Like
pay me out. Pay me out first.
Responsibility to pay you.
Right, exactly.
You're lucky YouTube's paying you.
Exactly.
So that's interesting. So I don't know.
Icing is what you're saying.
Yeah, it's icing if you're doing it right. Okay, skipping this one. We gotta go. There's this experiment in China that are locking these kids up, locking volunteers up in a space station environment for 200 days, self-sustained biodome type space station for 200 days as an experiment on mental health.
Hey.
So
we got to colonize Mars, so somebody has to volunteer to do this shit.
But the question I have for you is, if the Chinese government is conducting that kind of experiment on mental health, you think the only thing they're gonna be doing is just locking them up in there? You think they're not gonna have some weird
Stop it! This is not some thriller movie.
Yo.
We're gonna put a beast in there, some type of
holograms.
No. I think it's more so to see how we adapt to, having literally like a synthetic light, no sunlight for 200 days. Like, I mean, those are the things that are interesting and how that affects the biology, and how that affects the psychology. Like, so I feel like having that as the case study, having those research notes to be able to then say, okay, well, we know that these are the effects of that. So when we send you up there, here's maybe some supplements, or here's a different pressurized whatever it may be to help you live in that type of environment. I think it's smart. Right. We don't want to experiment with those risks while you're up there. Let's figure it out now. So it's the best way to do it.
Well, but I mean, do they have a plan? Like what? I mean, is it just 200 no matter what? Day 100, I'm like, get me out of here!
Like when they open it up, everyone's dead.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it in the screen like, check. Like, I'm fine now. I'm actually fine. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just went a little crazy.
But I think I read everything that they're using up there is recyclable.
Yeah, of course.
They have their own like kind of ecosystem in there. They have plants in there that will be providing their oxygen.
Drinking their own pee. I don't know what's happening there.
Dude.
I don't know.
I'm sure there's programs like that here in the States as well. I'm sure NASA's been doing that. You know what I'm saying?
And I wonder if they have couples in there. I wonder if people are like hooking up. If it's just 200 days. That's a long time.
200 days. We don't know.
I mean,
Gangnam Style. You be singing that Wiz Khalifa song when you leave. Oh my gosh.
When I see. All right, that's ridiculous. Yeah. Okay, don't have time for this. I want to talk about the podcast up front, but we can talk about that next week. Kevin Hart has new streaming services really quickly. What do you think?
I think Kevin's smart. I think he's gonna rake in these millions.
I do too. I think that. And then there's a lot of these popping up like CISO, but they're all sort of owned by networks. But this is owned by an individual, and he's having his a lot of people coming on to do comedy on it, and it's across the board. And people love comedy, and people love Kevin Hart. So, I don't know. Good for him. And he got Lyft as a partner on the series,
and YouTube.
So good for him. I think that's good. But let's get to the most important thing, and then we can get out of here. New Black Panther images. 20 new photos from Black Panther dropped on in entertainmentweekly.com and Entertainment Weekly, the magazine.
Let's go, baby.
And they all look super fresh.
Come on, Ryan Coogler. Let's do it, baby.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I think this is going to be a home run. I think it's going to be a slapper. I think it's going to be a classico. I think it's going to be one of the best Marvel movies we've had.
Right.
I'm going as far to say that. I can't wait to see it, man. And I'm rooting for everybody behind the scenes, in the scenes. Let's go.
Yep. Me too.
The imagery looks dope.
Yeah, it does. Okay. That's really that's all we got for today. Let's I don't know. Where can people find you?
Man, they can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Akili Shine, AKILISHINE. Where can they find you?
They can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Joe K. Braswell. And that's all I got. We'll see you soon. Bye.
Peace.
From executives Kevin Undergaro, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us. info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I am the official voice of Black Hollywood Live, Scipio. Instagram me at KingXOBay. Thanks for tuning in. The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.